What's up, everyone? It's Gavin or Tweek.
Bro, that's it. You're the champ. What do you mean? Gavin, the champ, or Tweek, the champ. Like, what the heck? What's good? It's Pink or Marcus in the building.
What up, what up? It's Charles or Chuck. How you guys doing?
And what up? It Matter has. And you know what? It's a celebration stream up in here. We got the champ, Port Priority, babies. Port Priority 7 champ, Tweek from Losers Bracket. What up?
You won't light it. You won't
What
light
up,
it.
everyone? I won't. You're right. Not my
Whoa.
dude,
Thanks,
yeah.
Gal.
What?
Thank you.
A pair of amazing tournaments this weekend, actually. Gavin, I think people want to hear from you the most, obviously. So let's talk a little Port Priority here.
Yeah, I won Port Priority 7.
True.
My first ever big tournament win from Losers Bracket, which I didn't know until Marcus told me. And that's insane. I tied a record for longest losers run in Smash Ultimate. Well, I think longest losers run to win the tournament or something like that.
Yes, with Zachary and MK Leo.
And Leo.
Yeah.
Was it Leo's Frostbite? Is that what it was?
Yeah, well,
Leo's
That was a
Frostbite,
long-
yes.
That was a long one.
And that's a cool list to be on and some really cool people. So, yeah, I guess I could talk about my run a bit if y'all want to hear that, but you're going to have to sit back.
Strap in.
That's what the people are here for. What the heck?
Yeah,
For sure, yeah.
Last week, I know I was like pretty lost and I wasn't really sure with like characters and like Smash as a whole, especially Smash as a whole. But yeah, long travel to Seattle. I played my pools. My pools were all like Diddy matchups, which is like always like, thank God. You know what I mean? Like I had played against Aegis into Ness and Violet into Falcon. And I was like, whew, because I knew my projected bracket wasn't going to be like that. So it was nice to like get to play some Diddy. And then my first match of Sunday was against Belmont, and I used Wario.
Nice.
So my game plan, which like I've played with Haz a bunch and stuff. So my game plan was to try to remove the ledge from the equation because I figured they have a hard time getting kills if I just wasn't grabbing the ledge as much as a normal character. So my plan was actually Wario and Diddy. And I was just going to use Bike and Recover High and like use my air drift and it pretty much worked. It's really hard to kill with Belmont if you don't put them on the ledge. And that was basically my game plan. And I was willing to go Diddy if my Wario was too crusty and rusty. But yeah, I won. And then my next match was against Chronos. And this set, like,
Manga.
was like really like make it or break it for my mental. And I actually thought I was just done mentally. So game 1, I 3-stock with Wolf. So it's already a weird way to like talk about this set. Game 2, I lose with Wolf. Game 3, I win with Wario. Game 4, I lose last hit with Wario. Game 5, I lose last stock with Diddy. So I tried all characters, and guess what happened? Game 5, I was winning the entire game. I got hit by 2 moves, and I died.
I read, because it wasn't on stream,
I got neutral aired, and I monkey flipped to the ledge, and I just got forward smashed.
F smashed at 30. Yeah, that's what someone said.
I died 0%. I'm pretty sure it started at literally 0. And like I had a big lead, and then I didn't have the lead anymore, obviously. And I was just like, I want to go home because I knew how many sets I'd have to win. I knew that like in that set just felt terrible. Like I'm really upset at how tilted I got so fast. Like I was like, I might just leave this venue right now. Like it was just such a rough loss. And my next match was against Snake.
Yeah.
And like the entire venue was in there. I was just tilted out of my mind, like so tilted. Like I couldn't even keep my mouth shut. I was like, this is so cringe. This sucks. Like this is so bullshit. and I used Wario. Oh no, I lost with Wolf, and then I went Wario the rest of the set. So it was 3-1. And if you told that version of me like I was gonna win the tournament, I would think you're an idiot. You know what I mean? But yeah. And then my next match was against Roy. So I went Wario again. So it's like all of a sudden this is a Wario tournament for me. You know what I mean?
Who are the players, by the way? It was Chronos and
Chronos
then
into Slushee into Loke.
Sorry, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I just like to shout people out when they.
Loke. I forget the tags of the previous ones too.
I'll look for it.
And then so that was Roy Wario. That was 3-0. So it started best of 5 as soon as I got into my second round of winners day 2, which was Chronos. So this has been best of 5. That's why you're seeing more characters and stuff. Like I just have more room.
So even in losers, it was best of 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
does that happen where you play best of 5 and winners and go
I think
to
it
losers?
can.
Really?
It shouldn't, but it does.
It does sometimes. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that's ever happened to me, but and I think my next match was Sharp. I hope I'm not getting the order wrong, but I think I played Loke into Sharp, and I got to play Diddy again, and that went really well. And then after Sharp, it was H4, right?
Yes.
H4 is a really, really good Pikachu player. Kind of reminds me more of Shiny Mark than Esam, if that makes sense. Like when I watch H4 play and when I played against H4, I'm like, this makes sense. Like pretty defensive, technical, like optimal decision making. Like you can tell it's like a lot of intelligent gameplay, in my opinion. So I was interested in this set because Pikachu's a matchup with Diddy that has gone back and forth in my brain, maybe more than any other matchup in the game. During quarantine and like COVID, when I was picking up Diddy, I thought Diddy straight up beat Pikachu pretty easily. And I had even played the matchup online. I'd even played Esam online, and it went well. And I didn't really think much of it other than I thought Diddy just straight up did way better than people thought. Because this is like my one Diddy opinion, or like my main Diddy opinion that everyone will just straight up call me an idiot for. Because not only do people think it's not that good, they think it's losing. You know what I mean? And then I played Esam at Genesis, and he destroyed me in losers. It was 3-0. I think one of the games wasn't even close, like stuff like that. And now I was like, I did the classic, like, even? You know what I mean? It's like you go from like a matchup is good to and then losing it, and then you're like, all right, I'll say even. Like it's like you're like budging.
One notch down.
So yeah, now I don't know really how to feel about it. Because like when I've played it after that, like there's some parts that like starting to feel pretty rough, and then there's some parts that still feel really good. Low key, I still think I could have been right all along. Maybe it's just going to take more than I thought. But yeah, I won that set 3-0. I think I played really well where it mattered. Some of the situations were really close calls, though. And then, but yeah, overall, I was really happy with that because it wasn't like a run back on Esam or anything, but it's a really good Pikachu player. So it's like if I can do this, I could beat Esam too, kind of thing. So that one mattered a lot to me, kind of like when I beat Teaser in Miami. Because I lost to Sisqui like 5 seconds before that. So getting a win on a really good Samus player was like, okay, I can do it. And it's the same kind of feeling. Like it was like, honestly, it was one of the best sets for me in the entire bracket. Just because I just felt good about it because of the specific matchup. And then I think I was in a top 8 qualifier after that. And I have no idea how this worked out, but it was against Chronos again. I don't know how that played out because I know in some tournaments that's not possible. Like, I don't know how it played out. But when I saw this like sets before I was actually there. Like, I saw if I kept winning, I would make it back to Chronos. And I went from wanting to go home to being really locked in because all I cared about was that. I cared about nothing else the rest of the tournament. All I cared about was beating Chronos in the run back. That is all I wanted with my entire being. And then in that run back, I used Wolf, I used Wario and Diddy Kong. I won the first game with Wario, lost 2 games with Wario, and I was starting to get really fucking pissed off again.
Yeah.
Playing that shitty Wario guy.
Bro,
Yeah, that guy, I don't know how he does it.
You were just chasing him the entire time, platform to platform. Like it just looked super rough.
Yeah, it's not easy to get your openings with either character with Wario and Diddy. But my back was to the wall, just like the winner set, so I pulled out my best character. And the game, I think both games were pretty solid in my favor. And I was like, okay, I'm like satisfied. Like at least I got the run back, right? So I was very happy about that. And then I was in top 8 and I had a break. So I got some food, my first time eating for the day. Was able to relax a bit. By the time I had food, like the tilt was like out of my system, but I was still really upset with myself for like just like really like, because I think making the most of like the hardest situations is the best thing you can do as a competitor. Like when you're at your lowest, or like when the bracket's at its hardest, or when you're in a hard matchup, I think being like those are the most important moments in my career. So I think I really fumbled the bag in that perspective. But like I don't want to like knock myself too much, because like there's still like a lot of positives to talk about too. But I at least want to be like, just because I won, I don't want to act like I didn't like go against some of my game plans and my thought processes. Like I was still pretty disappointed. But yeah, so when I was in top 8, my first match was Justice's Min Min. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I played a losing matchup. Like now I can play a winning one. Because like Diddy's one of Min Min's worst matchups. And I have enough experience with like Marcus and even some tournament sets. And I feel like it's not even like that specific of a game plan for me. Like, like we know what Diddy would do to Min Min, right? Like because you just slightly outrange with the banana and stuff. Like Diddy's game plan is like what it would be in any matchup.
And a crazy gap closer too. Like having that against
burst and range.
Important.
Like I have the mobility, burst, range, and it just, and even some of Min Min's like Min Min's hurt box is like super big in a lot of key spots. Like the ledge too.
Can't get off the ledge. Help.
Yeah, so taking stocks is consistent. Neutral's pretty consistent. It only gets rough if she has a big enough lead, or if she takes the banana away, the matchup like 180s. But because of all the strengths you have, it's like just less likely to happen. Especially like if you have a best of 5, right? Like you have games to work with. The game I lost, I think the lead got a little tough and stuff like that. I also pretty sure I got shield poked with like no counterplay. Like I think I had to parry I got hit by a second arm, and I'm pretty sure it just shield poked me, and I couldn't do anything unless I parried it. And I was just like, all right, next game. But that matchup went really well. Once again, it kind of felt like I made it through some of like the anti-Diddy stuff. So I was like getting rewarded for like, working through some of the tough shit.
All 3 of your snake matches.
like stuff like that. Like, yeah, like, okay, like now you can play a Diddy matchup, and like, it just feels like a breath of fresh air, especially when you get into best of 5 or something like that. Like, oh, I'm in top 8. Like there's a couple like mental resets for me in a tournament. It's like getting from best of 3 to best of 5, and then from the best of 5 to top 8, especially because there's like a timer break, but it also just feels like you're accomplishing the mini goals to like the main goal, which is winning. Like I'm sure a lot of players like might branch it like that. Mm-hmm. Well, the schedule itself literally branches it like that. So,
yep.
So yeah, so I won my first set in top 8. And I think around there, like probably around like some point in probably just the first start of top 8 is when my play started to substantially ramp up.
Oh yeah.
Like my speed, my creativity, like all that, like it started to show. My second match was Anathema, and this is another example of like, okay, you get a Diddy matchup. Like that's my favorite matchup in all of Smash Ultimate for the entirety of the game's lifespan. Like there's a couple characters I played where I'm like didn't like Rob PT and stuff, but overall I just love hitting that character. So that went really, really well. And that was another like substantial ramp up in my play, I think, where I started to play even better. I think I just played so many sets that I reached a point where it was just like clocking in for work over and over and over, like just playing and like barely like it's not even that deep. Like that, like I don't even know what else to say about it. And then my next set was Ken, which was the first like pacing adjustment, because I think I played very similarly in the Justice and Anathema set, but fighting Sonic, like you can't just like commit over and over. So like I would have like pauses and some defensive play. But overall
Footage
that went
of
really
yours.
well.
Also, footage
Well,
of you getting lucky. Game 1.
True.
Yeah.
You can't say you're unlucky
I
anymore.
talked
Was
about
that
this.
fortunate? Well, that was
I'll
planned.
fully explain it. So I talked about this with B last night.
I'm
To
genuinely
simplify it,
curious.
I got.
Talking about the barrels off stage, right?
I have
Game one.
never seen that.
Game
I
1,
got
the
really
last
lucky.
stock game.
That
Oh, wow.
has never happened before. I always die in that scenario.
Oh wow.
I've like Sonic's does it to me like at least a couple times every time we play online. You know what I mean? Like that's just a good thing to do versus Diddy. Like
So,
if I'm
some
forced.
part of me like thought that you experienced it because you played against Sonic so much that you like purposefully like shifted your up B,
Possibly. Oh
but I
no.
was like, I don't know.
So for some reason, the homing attack went all the way around to like my backside, and I why? Because
This is
if
a
it just
perfect opportunity for you to just lie, Gavin. You could have
If
been
it
like,
just-
"Oh, well, I know that it actually comes in at a 63.5 degree angle, so I did like 2 little shimmies and a complete shimmy to the left to make
There
it
you
whiff
go.
actually, and then I would
Shimmies.
actually get the kill."
so if it hit the top of Diddy or the front, I think it would have had enough frame advantage before my hitbox came out. So my other theory is maybe he was just a little too slow, and maybe Sonic just hasn't
Charged it
messed
for
it up
too long.
before,
Yeah. Like,
or like yeah,
because
he
you
just
can
didn't do it
charge
fast enough.
He was hoping you would let go barrels. I don't know, but
Yeah, I
remember-
it was mostly fortunate because I always die there.
I remember
Yeah.
watching in real time and I saw the kill screen and I was like, fuck, that's the end of game 1. And then I saw Diddy was like still in one piece and I was like, wait a second. I was like, is that like, who is that for? And then it happened to be
Yeah.
him. I was like, what the hell?
It
How
was
did that
crazy.
just happen? It was wild, yeah.
But I guess the final thing is one of the things I said, if not all of them, are probably right about the scenario, but something went wrong, and it was just I just got lucky. But you know what I told myself in this moment? I'm not exaggerating. There's no like I'm telling the full truth. After this game 1, I told this to B last night. You know what I thought to myself after that game 1? I win
finally
the
some
tournament.
fucking plot armor.
No, I
That's
said
when you realized?
yeah, no, I told I win the tournament right now. I don't know why. Well, like getting that lucky is huge for like, you know, the start of set. But for some reason I was like, I think I just win. I think I've just been in enough, like there's no way to word it other than I just have enough experience to like know where tipping points and turning points are. I don't know. After that
We've
game
seen it
one, I
with
was like,
Leo too. Like we've seen scenarios where Leo gets lucky, and obviously he's still
Yeah.
an extremely skilled player, and he deserves all his wins. Obviously,
but it's
right?
just nice. to
There
have.
is
Yeah.
definitely a handful of moments, and it's even kind of like a meme. You can look up YouTube videos on Leo plot armor against Cola and stuff like that. A bunch of players, and yeah, when we all spectate and see stuff like that happen, and then see someone win, I feel like,
It's
and
like-
on top of that, Gavin's just really experienced too, right? So
it's
just
like he had so much, he got such a good comeback going and he worked so hard. It's like, can you keep that up after that? You know what I mean? Like, is this
Right.
opportunity going to present itself again? Like, it wasn't about the set in particular. I just thought like this is just too good of a, like the top 8's going too well for me to lose here. And then I won the second game. Like the second game versus Ken was the best Diddy Sonic game that happened that set. Pretty sure I won pretty solidly.
Yep.
Definitely.
Like Town and City just worked out well. Because last time we played, we tried a handful of stages. We tried Kalos, we tried Battlefield, we tried Town, and I think the one game Ken won at Ludwig's was on Town, so it made sense. And then my next set was
Wait, what about the 7? I thought I
oh yeah, he
remember
pulled
how-
out Sephiroth. Yeah,
I don't remember how much you won by in game 2. I'm like, he won too hard. He's going to switch to Sephiroth, and then he
Right.
did.
I started to consider it. Yeah,
Yeah, and he did it. and it should have been a 3-0, but USD, so it's kind of like the luck returned in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like you had that.
Yeah,
SD.
I
think
guess
it's the
like
first stock, yeah.
evened out a little bit. Yeah,
But then
I
you
got like
three-stocked him, which was great because there were so many people in the chat saying this is payback for talking so much shit on Tweek Talks about how shitty Sephiroth is and all that. After you dropped game 3, then game 4 was a 3-stock. I was like, what up? Like, what's up, chat? Like, say
that matchup is like 90-10. Like, I was
That
It
is
is
so hard.
I mean, how many times have you heard me talk about it from either perspective?
yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, yeah. So what happened? The third game was I got a kill, and he was respawning, of course. So I wanted enough frame advantage to have a banana. So I usually just do a double jump banana, pull onto stage, grab ledge, come back on, grab it. Like that was the fastest thing in that current moment because as I took the stock, I was off stage, and I was too fast with the input. I didn't double jump.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that was strange. I don't mess that up unless it's like a laggy Wi-Fi match. That's what it felt like. It's like, bro, did it just lag spike?
Wi-Fi here sucks.
Is Ken cheating?
And then it still went to last hit.
Yeah.
And then you lost, and I was like, this is a real mentality check, is what I was thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
because obviously that's not a game you should have dropped or whatever. And then you did, and it's like, oh shit. But then you 3-stocked, and I was like, really, I had started to believe you could win the tournament in top 8. I was like, the first goal is for you to survive and just get into the top 8, right? Then see what happens. Then Justice and Anathema, you played like that's when you were really, really, really coming to life. I'm like, you can win this damn tournament. I think around when you started playing Justice. And then that happened, and I was like, well, this is a check right here. Like, this is a big check. And then you 3-stocked.
Especially because, like you said,
good.
It went from going well to like losing and like a weird shift. It's like, that's a lot to handle. Like,
well, and it's against Sephiroth, and it's like there's this whole like storyline with you and Sephiroth and all this shit. And I know you think about that stuff.
Don't worry, I was not. I was so happy.
Oh,
because you know what? You know what the scarier scenario is? Clutch a game out with Sephiroth and then understand the reality of the situation and go back to Sonic.
Agreed. Yep.
Imagine how tough that would. Imagine how tough that would.
I was surprised he stayed. Sephiroth.
It's a tough call, right? Because
it is a tough
think
call.
of Ken's previous set. He reversed 3-0'd Kameme with Sephiroth. Like, that's crazy. No matter what the matchup is, what's going on, like, the Sephiroth was keeping Ken alive in the tournament. Like, it's such a hard call when you play multiple characters, and like
you can't always make the on.
I understand. Call. I've had tough calls too, but for me, it's like I was feeling perfectly fine because it's like, bro, I just get to run it back in a 70-30.
Sign me up.
I get two more games to work with.
Well, in that situation, I feel like it is the easy choice to switch because, dude, it's on your counter pick, and it's like I only won that game because of SD. Like, you should have been up 2-1. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it went absolute last hit, and he had wing. Like, I don't know. Like, a lot kind of had to work out after the SD for him to win anyway. I think, like, Chuck always talks about on paper. On paper, I'm like, damn, I should have lost that game. I'm definitely not staying Sephiroth. So,
yeah,
and with the math
it's so hard when you're in the chair.
I know.
Hard.
And this is hindsight too, obviously, because who knows what if he does win that game or whatever. He didn't, but like still. And then the Sonic game too, he should have won game 1. So it's kind of like he did the opposite. Like he should have, like, instead of looking at it as damn down 0-2 with Sonic, it's like, well, it should be 1-1 right now. Like Sonic's going fine.
Yeah,
or whatever. But I mean, it's tough.
The more we talk about this set, like definitely a weird one, huh?
Yeah.
But like to simplify the matchup a little bit, like Sephiroth, if Sephiroth isn't losing by a lot, or if, like Sephiroth can be hard to hit. It's just hard for Sephiroth to hit you. And Sephiroth has some decent mobility. So like the next game, like think about how big of the lead I got and then get the first stock. It's like, bro, what do you do? Like when the neutral is this hard for you, like, and you can't focus on playing defense. So think of Think of Diddy versus Joker, where it's kind of similar, right? Like, except Joker, it plays it a lot better. But like Joker's at his best when he can like play defensive, like maybe chip away at a lead. But once Joker loses a stock and like the lead is like significant, it starts to look like something like this, where it just starts to snowball pretty bad. And it was basically the same thing as the third game, except I didn't SD. If anything, it was even a little better. So that's how I feel about it. There is like a moment or two in the match where Sephiroth has a chance. It's just really like pretty much up to me to make a like 10 million mistakes or something. Like it's just not worth it. And then my next match was Shuton, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this another significant like twist in the bracket because it feels like there's just windows of Diddy matchups, and then there were like once I reached a part where it's like there's Olimar and Mario left, I was like, well, I think both these matchups are losing, and in one of them I don't even have enough experience in to know exactly the intricacies, and it looks like a matchup where I need intricacies, which is Mario. Like I don't, you guys, I've probably talked to y'all. Like it's one of my number one matchups I wanted to play the past few months. I've said it on stream, probably said it in the podcast. I probably said it to y'all personally. But yeah, I played versus Shuton, and I don't know, that went a little too well. Like, what the heck?
That was a
Yeah, like
Hooked him.
that was a right, and Olimar's always kind of been a head scratcher for you for sure. So that was another one where I was like, "Fuck, here comes another check." Like, what is gonna
Yes.
happen? Like, if you lose game one, like, are you off? I saw you start Diddy. I was like, well, let's see what it's 5 game. You know what I mean? It's best
Yeah.
of 5. So see what happens. Maybe go another character. I don't know how your wolf was looking that day. I didn't know
The
you were,
weakest of the three by a
yeah.
significant margin. So I was nervous because I went Diddy game one also thinking I'm probably forced to do this because
because the wolf wasn't
Shuton never
cooking.
stopped playing Olimar. I've mostly stopped playing Wolf for like years now, but on paper I kind of needed him specifically for that set. But I was like, I've beaten like the best of the best Olimars. I've never played Shuton in this matchup, but I've beaten DeBuzz in this matchup more than once. And I've played it like daily with Myron. Like I've done fantastic in this matchup before. I just know why it can be really bad sometimes. And it's mostly because Olimar's damage output is consistent and ridiculous. And mine can be too, but it's just not it's not like that cookie cutter when I get the opportunity. I just have to hit Olimar and exploit him at his weakest, which is his disadvantage state and his weight. When Olimar gets hit, that character can be really bad. Like he dies. And even his recovery is very exploitable. He's fragile. He just is. He's very fragile. Like
Bro.
And he has specific setups and stuff, and I just got my hits and they didn't stop. And that is basically the whole set. And it's insane that there's no hiccups because this is like hiccup the matchup where it's like things can go well and then Olimar can do more damage or even take the stock before you. Like there's matches against Olimar where I do 100 damage and I die first. You know what I mean?
If anything, it was a hiccup in your, again, the barrels came to your they saved you again against the top Japanese player, bro.
Crazy.
Again. That was calculated. That was on purpose.
Yeah,
this one wasn't luck. I extended it on the Pikmin, which I do all the time.
You two-framed Kim as well, right? Like you did that intentionally.
Yeah, that you can do that versus Sonic
a lot.
You can that's like one of the I guess I would call this a win condition or a trump card versus Sonic. That I do it like once a set or once every couple sets because you got to let them know that you might die once in a while because F-tilt isn't going to really work on Sonic's up B.
Yeah.
But barrels, it's active for like only a couple frames or something, but it's huge.
Yeah.
It's like going for an Ivysaur Dare or something. And Sonic is so light that he'll die. Maybe if it's a weird hitbox, maybe it'll be untechable anyways. Like depending on how he gets hit. And it's a good win condition, especially because it's what I've always done. I crash, and then as I'm crashing, I'm landing behind my banana. So I'm not in a great spot, but it could be worse, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like they probably can't like kill me. And I timed it right. But against Shuton, they like to throw their Pikmin when they're recovering. So I just have an extended explosion. Like you're dead.
Even more broken.
Yeah, you're
the one con about that tactic is like, oh, now I have more active frames. So.
Yeah, you're just super dead. Like imagine if like a full waft with Wario, it's like there's just a wall of death. Like good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one was just it was fortunate, but on purpose.
When you were go ahead.
I predicted it as he was throwing the Pikmin. I had already barreled before he threw the Pikmin, basically.
When you were playing in top 8, kind of like what Haz was saying earlier, there was a part of me that was like, I mean, he's playing against Mimin or he's playing against Rob. Like, this is normal. Like, it didn't feel like anything crazy. I was like, oh, okay, it's just like hitting him. Then you played against Ken in game 1. I was like, oh, Gavin's back. Like, here it goes. Like, we're taking our time. Like, oh boy. Like, and then game 2 happened. I was like, huh, that's a little more aggression that I'm used to
Yeah,
against Sonic.
I think TK noticed that. I heard him because
Yeah,
like,
he
I could
said
hear
it.
like the in-house commentary.
Yeah. And then you did the up B, and I was like, oh, he's comfortable. Oh, hold on. And I was
That
like,
is
all right, this
definitely a
cool.
comfort thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you played against Shuton, and I was like, oh, he's comfortable. Like I kept saying, because I was watching with a bunch of friends. I was like with Coney and a few other people, and I was like, he's covering jump. He's covering jump.
Marcus has watched me play
Yeah.
too much.
He's
Yeah.
covering
Yeah.
jump.
When Gavin
was-
covers ledge jump.
I thought of Marcus instantly because it was clip Gavin. Like you were playing confidently, and that's the thing. You were swinging. I feel like and I said this to you. We talked on Monday or whatever after the tournament. I was like, dude, you always just hesitate. Like I feel like you overthink things and like try to play, really safe. Like that's one of your best things, obviously.
Doing
so
like
it really
equations in my head, and I end up
works. You
doing
think
nothing.
too much, bro. It's fucking ultimate. Let it rip, baby.
Hell yeah.
You know?
It's all we
Throw the
match.
aerials out, man. Throw the forward smash. Who cares? Like you'll get it back. It's all good. But you were. It's like a confidence thing too. Like you were just going for it, which is awesome. It reminded me of the Meister clip at Ludwig's. When you turned and looked at us, you're like, "Yeah, I did that. That's me. I did that shit." More of that.
Yeah.
I want the mean Diddy here.
And then
Also,
grand finals, I was like,
I think Shuton tweeted that was the first time he's lost to Diddy Kong.
Mm-hmm.
wow,
Really?
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Like in Ultimate.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
In Ultimate, of course.
Bro.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, the matchup's an interesting one because it's just like a million damage per hit on both sides, realistically. So I just kind of ran away with it. I got some really nice stray hit kills with like up tilts, like the whole bracket though. But all of them are so light, thankfully. So like you can make up for a lot of stuff. And I think Shuton just didn't get valuable enough hits, I think. And that's huge that I don't have to deal with like taking 1 million damage or something. And then grand finals, I don't know. Looking back on it, I don't know if I was right, but my prediction was what actually happened was a little bit easier. I think beating Kurama in 2 sets felt easier than beating Shuton in 2 sets. But looking back, I don't know if that was actually fully true.
Mm-hmm.
Kurama was catching on second set.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's basically what I'm getting at. So set 1 went fantastic. Honestly, not perfect. I would say the Shuton set is like almost a perfect like outcome in terms of Diddy versus Olimar. At first, I was getting smoked game 1, I think, but then I just got a crazy string, and then all of a sudden I just got momentum, but that's where the set started to become like really, really good on paper. But at the start, I was like, "Oh damn, this is gonna be long," because I thought like I was pretty much losing game 1 for like a decent chunk of it. But then I think games 2 and 3 were like just like momentum, and like I just like was really in the lead. And then set 2, I win again, and I'm thinking, "Damn, pretty sure I win."
That's where I was. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so going into it, like the whole
The
time
3-0
I was
didn't
like,
mean as much as you
Right.
might expect, because
Like, I was-
obviously,
when you were playing everyone else, I was like, I think Tweek gets second here. Like low key, I thought you were gonna get second because
Yeah.
Kurama was playing hot, and 2 sets is hard
in that
against-
matchup, yeah.
yeah, in that matchup specifically, I was like, all it takes is like you getting hit by a couple ladders or
Yes.
a couple early stocks or something like that, and it could just swing where like you have to consistently.
And you were right.
kill.
You were basically right, though,
Yeah.
with the set 2. You know what I mean? Like that is what it took.
But when you won game 1 of set 2,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he can win.
Yes.
Because if you did
Now
not
I
win
can
game
win.
1, yeah,
Now I
if you
can
did not
win, yes.
win game 1, you won 3 games in a row. It's the worst feeling. You win 3 games in a row, you're feeling great. You go
Zero
into the next
progress
set,
if you lose game 1.
yeah, exactly. You made no progress. It's like, oh, okay, sure.
Back to square one.
Were
Yeah.
you were you feeling a
Negative
little
squares,
gassed?
honestly.
Were you feeling a little gassed out set 2? Because it definitely looked, especially
Yes.
game 5, both of you looked like
I
there
was-
was just nerves with like maybe not playing as sharp. Like it definitely looked like some shit was going on with both
I was
of you.
exhausted. Starting set 2, I was done. I didn't have that much left. I started to like stand still and like I started to rely on Fundy's Diddy, which I don't think I made the wrong decision. I just think my hand was forced because I was so tired. But yeah, winning set 2, game 1, I was like, okay, I think I win here.
Yeah.
From Marcus's perspective, is he can win, but I was like hyping myself up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I think I win here. Like, it's a similar statement, but and then it just started going back and forth. And so I just also, here's a big one. Once I started reaching like all those sets in a row and losers, I stopped banning stages. I just let people go wherever they wanted, like every single opponent, except Kurama, where I banned Battlefield, but no other stage. I was like, okay, you can go wherever you want, but no Battlefield, please.
Which
Like,
is really interesting.
We know what happens there.
Kurama loves Smashville.
I do too.
But you do too, so I found it weird because I think you tried Smashville set 1, right?
Yes.
And he got smoked. Yeah, so I'm sure he's like found a little bit of success on PS2.
Yeah,
so like I'm just gonna. Stick
it just became a PS2 set, which like makes sense if you do the math. But even this set, like it's hard to feel like I played perfect or something because there's moments where I played great and I played great for longer than usual, but I still got fortunate in this set. Like I just air dodged a couple things that like I thought were gonna work. You know what I mean? Like stuff like there's like just by the frames, it was just like ridiculously close calls. So, but yeah, after winning game 1 of set 2, I was like, all right, I'm starting to think I can win this. And then started going back and forth. And then going into game 5, it went from like, I felt like I was winning the entire time to like, I'm here again. I'm in it. Like, where it's like down to 1 game or down to 1 stock or down to a decision or 2. I was like, this is like the 10th time it feels like in a week. You know what I mean? Like there's Summit and there's Collision and there's Miami versus the same people. There's fighting Gluto at Ludwig's where there's like last stock or I'm dying at 0 when I'm winning. It's like like physically I'm probably 55 years old right now. I'm not even kidding. Like
55 on paper.
Like as a Diddy player, you know what I mean? Like I'm stressed. And like so I was like, I'm done. Let's just go PS2. Like it's like game 5. I'm like, yeah, let's go back. Like
I don't want to put any extra thought into this.
I know Mario's like one of the characters where like PS2 isn't as neutral as it would be in other like that's how the meta's like developed over the years. Like you don't want to fight some characters on PS2 that you like. There's some that's just not that smart.
Yeah,
and but I just did it because like I don't know. Like I was getting crazy hits. He was getting a lot of off of his like. I just stuck it out, and I think I just clutched it out. Like a decision or 2 is all it came down to, and I was finally on the receiving end of like winning that scenario. And that's what I think that's where the relief came in when I won, because it was like round 1000 of the same thing I've been dealing with for like months now.
Yeah, honestly, if I had one thing to critique is at least hit the last down air if you're gonna win a tournament, man. Like, come on.
True.
Like, you really missed that
I feel
down
like
there.
that those kind of wins happen to me all the time. Where it's just like, because like let's go back to my last big tournament win, which is Summit 3. I turned to TK before he interviewed me. I was like, I won Summit 3 off of an F tilt, and I was like, guess what move I just won off of at this tournament? F tilt. Like the most baby, like not like impactful, just like. I mean, it's a ridiculous move, but it's like weird. It's like full circle, like over a year later, like just sitting in the corner, just Diddy standing there like an idiot, and just. But yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure the down air was like sparked, like it was very close to.
It was really, really close.
Yeah. Like I had the right idea, but like obviously, I still knew he was dead anyway. I was gonna do it for y'all.
Bro, when you jumped off stage, I was like, yeah, same. I was like, yo, what you doing out there?
Miss a tech and like die or something.
Yes, exactly. That and like you were playing against Mario and it was last stock. I think he had like 40 on his last stock when you were fresh on your last stock. I was like, dude, Mario could just kill you right now. Like
it's almost a losing scenario there.
I was just so tense that whole last stock, and then I was like, I'm like very sure he's dead. And then you jumped off stage. I was like, what is happening right
Dude,
now?
I was getting hype. I was like,
He's-
yes, the down air.
Well, that's the
Mario's
thing.
recovery is like fantastic with a jump. Like
Yeah.
you can't do anything 99% of the time. But there, like when Mario has to air dodge out there, he just can't make it back. Like
Right.
Yeah.
his air dodge is a little too laggy.
Oh,
he just
dude.
doesn't get enough distance. Like, but I was still just in my head that was me playing it safe, even though it was the opposite because I was actually
on stage.
going out there. But yeah, it was a weird ending. My
Save me
apologies.
some gray hairs, bro. Jesus, that
Yeah.
was not fun. But anyway, congrats, obviously.
Thank you.
for
Yeah,
going
that's
through your
the best
tournament.
How
you've ever
long did I
played,
just
man.
talk about that? Also, Kurama is
Yeah,
like dominating Smash Ultimate right now.
Kurama rules. Huge
Yeah.
Kurama fan. Big
If
punishment.
you thought Lud
And-
was a fluke, you were wrong.
that was the thing. He's not. A
And then he
flashy
like
fan
then he did
anymore,
just
yeah.
as well, if not better, like in terms of his in-game play. So like,
Mhm.
damn.
Huge wins. Hold on, let me pull up the run here. I have it up.
Wait,
But
who
yeah,
did
I mean,
lose to
Kurama-
at Lud? So was it just Leo and Akola?
No, he
Yeah.
also beats
Well,
Fargo.
No,
Like
no, I'm
that-
saying like who did he
oh.
lose to?
Oh,
Lose
lose
to,
those
because
two?
there was the pools to probably some
Leo
other people.
and yeah,
Like
I guess
he
it was
only
all
lost
of them.
to
in the
Leo
final
Akola.
bracket.
In the main-
that's
In the main bracket, it was Alcola because he got third to them,
that
Yeah.
is-
and he's the only one to take a game off Leo. So
How shameful to lose to the two like best players.
let's see. He only lost to you, obviously, at Port, but he beat
Yeah.
Shuton, Anathema, MVD, who also got a big win. Jared is King, who also beat Ned. Like just
And
some-
Mario's
Mario
worst matchup.
Shaw?
Mario's worst matchup.
Yes, that matchup is
Reverse
awful. I
3-0.
said the same thing, dude. That is awful.
That's his worst matchup for
Wait.
sure.
It was a reverse 3-0.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
it was a great
Yes.
set.
That
Jared
Bro,
is King
what?
is very good. Yeah,
Reverse 3-0 Mario Schultz.
and that's against a great
Also, Jared is
Schultz
King is
player.
also really good.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Absolutely.
good. Like
Against a
I
great
watched
player.
Jared is King play. Pretty sure I've played with Jared is King online. Very patient. Like it's not only is it a bad matchup, this is the style that's gonna suck to fight against as Mario too.
Yeah,
Like if I was Wario, like that's how I would feel. I'd be like, this is not winnable.
it's a great matchup for Shulk, so a terrible one for Mario. And Kurama had to play a very specific style of Mario because he's most known for his huge combos, early kills, all that shit. You're not going to get that against Shulk. Like shield art just exists.
You have to slow it down, and
Exactly.
you won't be able to finish often like your hits.
And his adaptation there, and also against you, game or set 2, was
Yeah.
like he started pairing your aerials and getting an up tilt to 60. I was
That's
like,
what I
dude,
said
Yeah,
with EE on the interview. I was saying I think what gave me mileage was he was playing too fast. Because he has a lot of Diddy experience, but obviously like my Diddy is just plays differently.
built different.
But like you said, like he slowed it down like pretty much enough to like make it just one stock away from winning the tournament.
Yeah, he's the real deal for sure, obviously. So yeah,
Yeah.
great to see him continue. I mean, he'll win a big tournament at some point. If not,
None
this
of us will
year,
be surprised when it happens.
Yeah.
Like it'll probably be exciting or whatever, but like when we talk about it on the podcast,
Yeah.
we'll be like, yeah, it happened.
It was like the Spargo thing, right? Remember when Spargo
Yeah.
kept getting second? Or
Every
it's the
week
same thing.
we'd be like, yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's
like
gonna
maybe even
happen.
next
Riddles,
event.
Sonics, we've done.
Riddles,
yeah,
Sonics,
like,
yeah.
It's all just it's gonna happen.
True.
Soon.
That's the category. They're just that good.
Bro, another crazy stat from this tournament is so you had an 11 set win streak through losers, right?
Kameme's 10.
Kameme had a 10 set win streak through losers as well at the same tournament, and he didn't even get top 8. Like it's just ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, tweet right
Wait.
there from
No,
Mara Scrub.
He
Yeah.
did. He did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
Yeah.
lost to Sonic. Sorry, not Sonics. Lost
Ken.
to Sonic in top 8, but yeah,
He did.
to Ken.
Well,
yeah.
Sephiroth, but
Sephiroth can.
The reverse 3-0 with the Seth, which is
That's
crazy.
right.
That is crazy. I do hear very often that is a matchup Sephiroth does very well.
you know what's interesting about that matchup? Like, when you have a counter against moves that slow, I feel like you should just use it. Like when I see,
at.
especially
He
if
started
it's
to.
like,
He started to.
like
A little.
there
bit.
was like a lot of situations where they will both be at kill percent, and I know you don't want to like bet it, but I feel like you need to bet it sometimes. Like
Wait,
as
which character are we talking about? Because I feel like this applies to both of them right now.
Sora. Sorry.
Oh, you're
Sora.
talking about because Ken
As-
started the
but-
counter a little more.
Yeah, like Kameme wasn't countering like back
Oh,
airs.
okay.
and
I
it's,
still
like,
agree with you though.
You know, like Sephiroth's back is facing you, like at a certain distance. What move?
And
is
it's Ken
probably
specifically.
coming out.
Like this is his thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, dude, if you just throw this, like you're countering a wing space back air, like he's exploding.
Percent is irrelevant now.
Yeah, like you are dead. Like just let him know that you're gonna do it, because otherwise it's so hard to get close to Sephiroth and Sora. And
Yeah.
like if they're like willing to hesitate a little bit, then
Once
it's
you're
like,
at a
all right.
deficit, you're forced to start doing things like that because you will
Yeah.
never get in again.
Yep.
I think so. I understand what you're saying. Do y'all want to still talk about some port stuff, or do you want to talk about Donkey Kong and Wario? And...
Donkey Kong and
Yeah,
Wario.
we can move over to the EU a little bit if you want. Just a couple.
Yeah.
Like Anathema played great. MVD big upset over Zomba. Just
MVD actually played fantastic this weekend.
Definitely.
Good to
see
beating
him play
Gact 3-2, beating Zomba again. Just crazy. Like
shout out
lots of Snake this tournament. Unfortunately, because that shit almost ruined my weekend. But
yeah. Shoutouts to Ouch, win over Louis Money 3-0. Shoutouts to Yanni getting 9th. All right. It's good to see Yanni place a little bit higher.
yeah.
So shoutouts to Yanni to 9th place. So yeah, cool. Yeah, but we can move on over.
I have like one more thing.
Oh,
I
you got
want
one
to say.
more. Go, Chuck,
Yeah.
go.
So one thing that I noticed when I started coaching you, like way back in the day, I remember you used to have issues with invitationals, and I know our theory back then, it's been like so long ago, like 2 years ago or so, was that you build momentum through winners bracket when you like play through pools and stuff like that. It kind of like builds up your confidence, and then you kind of, it's an organized way of ramping up throughout a tournament, right? And I know earlier on in your career, I don't think you have this issue anymore at invitationals, but you used to, right? And I think that can also be said with it. I think it also could be another factor when you go into losers bracket, because usually when you go into losers bracket,
like resets,
well, usually
it's deeper in the bracket.
Usually it's deeper in the bracket, and you
I
would
don't
fight
have the
someone,
chance. Yeah,
right? And you don't have like a chance to mentally come back, so to speak, right? Like you just got to lose bracket. It's like, all right, cool. Now fight another top 20
play
or
Leo,
top 10 player. Yeah, or some shit like that, right? And it's been something that you've been trying to work on for a really, really long time, and I think you still are. You've improved on it, but you still got more work to do, right?
Yeah,
and I think this time it's like it sucked because you've been having a snake problem, right? Like you lost to AC at Genesis, like snake's been an issue for you. But I feel like at this tournament,
it's like frying the wires in my brain. Like playing him online, playing him in tournaments, like he's so frustrating, and like it also like selecting a character. It's like sometimes one feels better than the other, but then they're also all equally hard. Like
right.
Snake is an issue for me right now.
And it's like crazy because you have a lot of experience against the character too. Like Pac-Man, I can understand where it's like, man, this sucks, but like I also don't have that much experience. You have a ton of experience against Snake, and that experience almost backfires on you with your other characters because you're like, dang, I've beaten Snakes with Wario, I've beaten Snakes with Wolf, yada yada, right? So I think that's just been it's gonna be a hard thing for you to deal with in your career. But this one, it felt like you kind of conquered it. I know it wasn't like the highest ranking Snakes, but it's all baby steps, right? And I think you were able to get a sense of momentum throughout the losers bracket, which is usually a scenario you're not put in. You know what I mean? I think the only other scenario where like you lost pretty early.
If I lose that early, I either lose again or I like don't. Yeah. So
right. So, but in this scenario, you still like you were tilted, but then the next like one or two matches you brought it back in terms of mentality, and then there was like a clear path or a clear objective for you. So I think if you can really try to emulate that experience you had in port, I think
like trying to get back to the run back from winners, and like if I can give myself something to like look
forward
to.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, that's something people probably do in so many types of competitions or anything. Like it reminds me of when I was this is so off topic, but when I was younger, I basically was a runner for my whole life, and I'd run with my father, and he'd like the advice he'd give me, he'd be like, look to that mailbox over there. Like once you get to that, like that's your objective. Then you find something else, and then like and all of a sudden like the run is over. You know what I mean? Like I 100% know what you mean.
Wait, hold on, that's OD advice.
What that's cheating, bro, right?
Wait, that's kind of lit.
Well, that's fine. This is like construction, but my dad, when he would teach me how to like cut metal or wood or anything like that, he said, never, when you're using the saw, you don't look at what you're cutting in front of the saw. Have faith in your instincts and look at the end point, and you just bring the saw to the end point from your starting point. Just
similar idea, yeah.
Yeah, similar kind of
idea. Shout out to advice.
Yeah, shout out to the dads giving advice out there.
Yeah,
but,
to advice as a concept.
But I think this experience can take you like I feel like you can look back and learn so much off of this one tournament, just mentality wise. Because like you said,
Yeah.
there are still things to improve, but you
Rather
also
than
did
just like
things
celebrating
correctly.
and being happy, like
You
I
can
feel like
dissect it.
I'm trying
It's
to like
cool.
ground myself and like try to look at it as at the full package. You know what I mean?
Oh heck no! You win. I'm the GOAT.
I'm
The
the
heck?
GOAT.
Get off my back.
Don't you
What the
ever
heck?
forget it.
Y'all forgot. Here's the
Sign the
apology
form. Sign the
Sign
form.
the apology
But
form.
what was it? I think Jalen Hurts did that. The Eagles, they won on Sunday and they had to play on Thursday, and he was like, "We can celebrate Monday, and then everyone we're back to work." Like that's
Yeah.
it. Like it's all allow
A
you guys.
balance, a
It's like 1 day to like really enjoy it, and then it's like, well, we got to play again. Like it's not over yet. Like, but there is something to be said about enjoying a victory too, because it's like if you're always just the same thing like anything else, like working really hard or working out. It's like if you're just there, like just not. I don't know, like just going through the hard stuff and like just working really hard. You got to look around and appreciate it sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Especially after a big dub like that from losers. What the heck?
True, first time.
It's pretty crazy. I feel like I'm only truly like I'm like soaking it in waves, like those bits and pieces of new information. Like, oh, you won your first big one from losers. I'm like, really? Like, it's like,
Shit.
are you talking about me right now?
Yeah, that one, and it was not just an easy I'm going Diddy every matchup bracket for sure.
Yeah,
like not even
like-
close. It was
Like weird
objectively
decisions
hard
had to
for
be
you,
made
yeah.
the entire weekend. It was hard.
You have to conquer one of your character demons, and even when I think back on the last tournament you won, it was Ultimate Summit 3, right? I believe it was Ultimate Summit 3. And I feel like that tournament I think you did play really well, but I also think that was okay, we're back from quarantine. All right. Do you know how to beat Tweek's Diddy? Like, have you experienced a Diddy Kong that has like this
Answer
crazy
is
amount of
usually
fundamentals?
no.
Right. And like you were Z-drop daring everyone at that
Yes.
tournament, right? And like I think you had to go wolf for one matchup against Aaron for the Diddy Ditto, but like that was pretty much it. This tournament feels like I know it wasn't as stacked
more
as Ultimate
realistic,
Summit 3,
I think.
but yeah, it was more like, okay, everyone still like knows the Diddy matchup, right? Maybe not crazy experience, but they're not getting Z-drop dared for free, right? Like out the gate, and you had to go against a character that you've been having a ton of issues with. So, and then on top of that,
characters
it just
that you've had issues with.
I still feel this way. I think it's the best you've ever played in terms of like watching you play in tournament. I've seen you play like incredible in friendlies and stuff, but it feel again like the friendlies. Gavin was there, right? And it was just sick to watch. It was really cool.
I appreciate that a lot.
I was gonna say it's a couple characters that Roy, Pikachu, Snake,
Mario.
Olimar. Like there's a lot. I feel like, I guess Mario's scary for you too, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just a thing that you're figuring out. Clip Gavin.
Clip Gavin.
Gavin. I can't believe you said that last week and then this happened. I can't believe it.
That's actually insane. Yeah,
He's actually correct. Yeah, just straight up correct. Called by Marcus.
Yeah, just do it every time, bro.
Yeah, it's easy.
What the heck?
I don't know what you're so stressed about. Just do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll be watching you and I'm like, why is he like, bro, I don't want to say you're better, but like you are. Like you need to have the confidence in yourself that you're that good, because you really are that good. Like there's very few people in the world that I think could beat you when you're playing well. Like maybe 2.
I said it in the Discord call that I was watching with. I was like, you just need to you're the better player, just act like it. And that's against most players in the world. Like maybe not 2 or 3 or something like that. I'm like, just do it. Like just Not now, Marcus, trying to boost his confidence. What's wrong with you?
Not now.
He needs it. Clip Gavin returns.
Honestly, this whole weekend was a Gavin weekend too, right? I mean, Donkey Kong doing things in Europe,
Yo, shout
Gluto
outs to
winning in Europe.
Yeah, Gluto and Hikaru like top 3ing, like just Wario and DK, and then me doing well with Diddy is like, what the heck is going on?
Then the least Gavin player of all, T. Winning yeah, Pac-Man and Kazuya.
The enemy.
Least Gavin, the enemy.
The enemy.
Oh yeah, that's right. T1. For some reason, I thought Gluto.
Yeah,
I'm still catching up with the VODs. I'm still catching up. It's
so sick though, because I love watching T on it. I mean, who doesn't? He's just so sick. But Hikaru, I think, kind of stole the show.
That is
honestly.
Legendary.
That is insanity.
Hikaru won the tournament in our hearts.
Basically, listen to me. I know Gluto won the run back, and shout out to Gluto, because Gluto is like, I know most players consider Gluto like top players that like, because we've all played with Gluto a significant amount, whether it's tournament or friendlies or both. Most people consider him to be like an adaptation king.
Mm-hmm.
and him winning the run back is a good example of that. But that matchup is free for Wario.
Wario, yeah.
So shouts to Hikaru for having 2 Game 5 sets versus the Wario GOAT. And shoutouts to both of them for playing those 2 characters, because those are 2 of the coolest characters ever. Those characters rule. And if you hate, actually, some people hate DK because they like get grabbed at 0.
Yeah, but he's DK.
But y'all should like both of them. But I was about to say some people might hate Wario because he's really good.
Most people hate Wario.
Yeah,
I think he really sucks.
There's so much other things to hate nowadays. All right.
Yeah, yeah, they're not the enemies. They're not. There are so many problems with this game right now. And they are not the ones. But shoutouts to both of them because I love those characters.
Yeah, Gluto. Also, shoutouts to Gluto for beating Bloom. Which right now I think is a pretty contested conversation for who is currently number 1 in EU.
Oh, yeah, for the first time. Yeah.
For the first time in I don't even know how many decades. Like it feels like so long. But Bloom is. For Tech Republic coming up, Bloom is number 1 over Gluto, which is wild. It goes Bloom, Gluto, Sisqui, and then Chag, and then Mr. R and Big Boss. So it's a really...
Shoutouts to T, shoutouts to Bloom, shoutouts to Sisqui for also getting top 5.
Yeah.
the Buzz. I gotta stop calling him the Buzz, bro.
What, just consistent?
Because he's so consistent?
Yup.
That's good.
That is a good compliment. Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
Buzz has been showing up in every top 8 for like a century. So
actually, a decade,
probably more.
Even in PlayStation All Stars, man,
200 years. Yeah, the Buzz doesn't know what it means to lose.
True.
He was nice at Kid Icarus too.
Yeah, top 8.
Yeah,
true.
Actually, true. He's just a
the
gamer.
Buzz is gaming out here, bro.
Yeah, Leo knows. That's why he has to go Joker against him. He's like, it's just the Buzz.
Yeah, it's the Buzz.
I have to minimize his power.
He's different.
Yeah, he knows, dude. Leo's no dummy.
The Buzz counterfeit.
Cool. Yeah, UFA was just fantastic. And I got to give a shout out again to the entire EU scene. Because at this point, it's not just like, oh, they had 1 or 2 tournaments where it's great production value and it's cool and the crowd's into it. At this point, it is inspiring to the point where I feel almost embarrassed watching American tournaments where the crowd's fucking sleeping, not into it, like all this stuff. The EU, like the hunger and the passion, I fucking love it.
Passion
I almost look forward to their tournaments more than ours at this point. Almost. It's very close. Like it's pretty even is what I would say right now. Arguably, it depends on who's at what tournament. But so shout outs to EU as a scene and also to the commentators who are killing it over there. Ramses and Fabs in particular. Also very inspiring. I love the shit that they're doing. You could tell that they truly deeply care about the game in the scene, and it's reflected in their commentary, and I fucking love them for that. And Fabs is hilarious, and Ramses is very smart. They have a good kind of balance of a duo, and it reminded me of the first time that I heard Viram, and I was like, this dude inspires me, who's one of my favorite fucking people in the scene. Still, I love Viram so much. Shout-outs to him, because he always pushed me to be a better commentator, and these two are doing that now, too, where I'm like fired up, man. Like, I want to fucking commentate something, because I'm like, I'm seeing... Like, this is really good. Like, this is really good shit, and I want to be able to bring it to the top level. So, shout-outs to those two in particular, but EU commentators in general, and the EU scene in general. So, that was my little thing for this week.
That was beautiful.
I fucking loved it,
I agree.
And the players.
The passion in every facet of Smash right now is... It's crazy that it's consistently happening, where it's just that impressive. It's not like a one tournament. It's like every time they have a big tournament, so...
Yeah, they want it, man, and I love that shit. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, all right. Let me dial back a bit.
Okay.
Clip Gavin. Okay. No. This is important. This is actually important. Clip Gavin. Right.
Okay.
It's correct, but it's not always correct.
And I feel like I know that. Like if you look at like some of the other sets, I don't know.
I feel like you learned this tournament when I was watching because. Obviously, I've been watching for a long time. We're friends, blah, blah, blah. I've been talking to you about the game forever. When you first started, it was only Clip Gavin.
Oh, Bowser Jr.? You're talking about Bowser Jr.?
Bowser Jr.,
Oh, yeah.
Cloud. Like
no conditioning, no layers.
No nothing.
Die.
Yes.
He's got a beautiful mind on YouTube.
Yep. Hey, look it up. It was Clip Gavin
clean.
only. And then you had to learn some discipline. And then you may have learned a little bit too much discipline. And then you're like, oh wait, Clip Gavin's back. What's discipline? But then there were times where like you would have like some discipline, or sometimes you would just go full clip. And I was like, oh, so like most people don't know because they probably started watching you in this game.
I get called campy a lot.
Yeah.
No?
It's not wrong. It's just like, damn.
Gavin was originally like one of the most aggressive, like I want to hit you and in your stock players ever. And then he got hurt and he stopped doing
I've been
that.
hurt many times.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like your roots. It's like when you learn how
a
to
lot
do
of my
something.
gameplay is flipping that switch. Like it's
Yeah.
not like it disappeared forever. Like I think this tournament for some reason just had more of it. I don't know if it's just coincidence, but the idea is to condition for it. But like I know this tournament looked different, but like I don't know what to say other than like I mean it's like how I talk about balancing Smash 4 Diddy and Ultimate Diddy. It's like it's all a similar thing where like you just gotta break your opponent's armor first. I don't know. Unless you're just destroying them. I don't know.
Bro, I was like, what condition? And the set started and they were dead.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Your focus on like the mental aspect of the game, I feel like, is the reason why you flip between the two. You know what I mean? Like you have two sides of each coin, like on the ridiculousness of it. Like you will time a Sonic out, or you will clip the shit out of someone and put them in a combo video. So it's like the extremes of both worlds. And you're gonna play like the first game, feel out your opponent, kind of see where their mental's at, see what positions they feel scared at, what positions they feel confident in, right? Like stuff like that. I mean, that's how you get clips. You're usually getting what's the
most
check
clips
mark
aren't just straight
clip?
up true combos.
Hard read on a double jump, ending
it
with like 2 spikes, like all that stuff.
The best clips are never true combos. So like
exactly.
True.
When I see like a highlight video, it's like a couple minutes long and it's all just true Kazuya combos. It's like
you're not impressed with the Kazuya compilation video?
Wait, that rules. Hold on.
Never.
As someone who's played Kazuya, that rules.
Okay, but some of those Incineroar clips from that Radley person,
Radley rules.
They're like true, but like I'm like, what the heck? Where'd you come up with this?
It's like the craziest things is how you get it and how it ends.
Yep.
Usually. And like
where it is, because if it's during a tournament and it's like late in the even if it's at a local, like later in the rounds, that means a lot too. If it's on like the FD version.
Well, the higher level of play, literally the clip starts to visually look better. Because that's why if you're playing Elite Smash and you want to make a combo video, it'll only reach a certain level of like impressiveness or like beautifulness to me, because the opponent has to have a certain level of awareness for anything to be like to strike me, like to like, oh snap. But when you're playing against top players or when you're playing in crazy tournaments, like, and something crazy happens, that's why people react the way they do. Like I'm thinking of the Gluto versus T clip.
True.
Like, if that happened on Elite Smash, the way it would be set up would be weird or something, right? Like, but this is the best versus the best, and that's why they don't happen every single stock, because when they do, it's like so much went into that. Maybe even the previous game is the reason this is happening in the first place, or their previous encounter 2 months ago, and that's the coolest side of Smash ever.
Like, I was thinking. Oh, go ahead.
No. I'm ranting now, but
you're good. That's when people are. You're talking. Come on,
spamming.
That's what it is. You're OD spamming. And Marcus, when Marcus said like you just come out and 0 to death people, and it's like where it's like a gas pedal, right? Like either it's pedal to the metal or not. When you come out swinging like that, I think you've like low key been conditioning people for like a year into thinking you're just gonna turbo camp them, and then you ran up in their faces. They were like, "What the hell's going on?" Like they weren't ready for it. So. In a way, it kind of was, but even if you were thinking about it, it's like just a mode change, right? Like you just switch gears, and if someone's not ready for it, you're gonna run.
Diddy's fantastic at it. Diddy is fantastic.
Oh yeah, it sucks.
That's why he's my favorite by far.
Remember a long time ago when I was like randomly only Gavin would know about this because he's the only person I told, but I was like taking a poll of like top players of what play style is harder to play against, like an extremely like campy like timeout based play style, or like an like very like a Sonics or sometimes Tweek, I guess, or like a really aggressive like always in your face play style like a light. Now granted these are characters that like lend themselves to it, but like their play styles, and majority of players actually said, like the top players said, that it's harder to play against like aggressive play styles because they're like consistently forcing you to like
Yeah.
make decisions,
I
and they
think of
don't give you
Esam
enough
in
time.
this
Yeah,
situation too.
yeah, they don't give you enough time to like figure things out. But it feels like when you play against slower players, like they give you more
Yeah.
opportunities to like understand how things go. So
Yeah.
there's
And
just
more
something
time.
interesting. Yeah, more time. Yeah.
I'm pretty
It's about
sure it
pacing
was
too, right?
extremely defensive with a dash of aggression or extremely aggressive
Yes.
with a tendency to camp.
Yes.
So, and basically, Marcus was interested in talking to me about this because I have so much experience with both. And he was just asking me which one do I prefer? Like, do I prefer to like use defense as a backup or aggressive as a backup?
Yeah, and most players I asked said that it was harder to play against aggression with like a hint of camping, which is funny because that was you this weekend, and it looked it.
Well, to be
Yeah.
fair, it does take
And that's
more
light.
energy.
There's a hint of it sometimes. So
Yeah.
Oh
true.
yeah, the
He
laser
will be
comes out.
reverse laser once or twice to get the action moving.
And then-
It's always-
and
he, like,
then he's
peppers
done.
you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's just like,
Yeah.
all right, I could do this if we want. Like, it's your choice, basically. It's
Yeah.
how I looked at it.
Wait, what
Yeah,
were you about to say, Charles?
I feel like the most important thing is being able to control the pace, like, and that can tip either defensively or offensively. But I feel like if you can force a player to play at a higher pace, I think that's more powerful than being able to slow a higher pace player down to a slower pace. Because there's some people that just can't play as fast, right? Like there's
Testing people
like
is huge.
every player has their max speed, and if you can crank the pacing of a match past your opponent's max speed, you're going to jumble their brain. You're going to
Yep.
shield break their thought process.
Shield break.
Yeah, you're going to literally shield break their decision making, because it's like, and the reason why like I say it feels like that is because I've had that happen to me. Like I've
You
played
play against
many-
it. Oh,
Void.
Yeah, play against like Tweek, Void, or Light.
Your brain
and
goes
just
into a void.
literally
It's
try to
gone.
make a decision, and then it's like, actually, by the time you made that decision, you already had to make 2 or 3 more.
Here's
like, you're
5 things,
behind.
and all of them lead into you dying.
Right, and like then you're just dead, and you're
Yeah.
and like you'll like kind of blink, and it happens in a course of a half a second or a second, and you're like, what the fuck just happened to me?
Yep.
Like it's a very bullshit feeling.
And then when you're questioning that, it's happening again.
it's happening again already.
Right, unless you're on the Angel platform, like it's the only thing that you can use to control the pace of the game is like, okay,
Yeah.
me spawning in and like I can,
I'm
you can't-
invincible.
I'm
Nothing
fucking
can go
invincible.
wrong.
Slow it the fuck down. Like,
Yeah.
give me a second to like gather my thoughts here and really collect myself and stuff. So I think being able to slow the pace of a player down that thrives off of max speed. Like if you guys watch, I mean, even early Ultimate this happened, but Void's biggest bracket demon in Smash 4 was the Buzz, right?
The Buzz.
And the Buzz was Void was famous for his like trump card was cranking the pace up extremely fast, and you can't keep up, and he's playing Sheik, right? And then he's like comboing you and doing all this crazy shit. But like the Buzz was just this ironclad defensive wall with a
Ridiculous.
bunch of fucking thorns on it that Void would try to crank the speed up, and the Buzz is like, fuck no, you're playing at this pace. We're gonna play at this slower pace, and we're gonna play some fundies, and we're gonna see what the fuck's up. And then that just
Tri-State
not
versus SoCal.
not to say that Void didn't have fundies, but especially during Smash 4, that's the thing he was catching up on, because he was like an on-hit demon, right? Like he would get you with one
Oh,
hit,
Gavin.
boom, 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 right? So his
Yeah.
fundies was still catching up, and
Those
even
are
like
similar,
pacing
yeah.
control. So
Well, I lived here, so
Gavin
it was
was
different.
raised in the world of
Yes.
like you
that's
can't.
why we said that I got hurt.
Yes.
I got
Imagine
hurt
your
a
first
lot.
region, your pallet town, your starting point is Tri-State. Like
It's
Your
the
pallet
Buzz.
town.
the
you
first
wanna-
gym leader.
If
the
you want to
Buzz.
win your local,
Fuck.
you have to beat this.
It's like, have you
That
seen that
sucks.
randomizer, that Pokemon randomizer clip where they walk out of the first house and they run into Cynthia and it starts playing the music? It's like exactly what it is.
That
It's Buzz,
sucks.
obviously.
That's
I'm
where
like
Gavin
4 years
started.
old, bro.
Gavin's like, I just want to fuck people up with Bowser Jr.
I
The
just
Buzz
like
is
this-
Fuck no,
this
that
Buzz-
ain't happening to
No,
me.
to Buzz, no. Just,
Yeah.
no, not gonna happen.
Negative. That's not
and
how the real world is.
But that's always why we see Tri-State is so strong in that, well, first off, it's a big region. You're taking like 3 huge states that are all very competitive and putting them all into one region, which is going to, including New York City. But it always happens where, and why it's always going to be a strong region for like pretty much forever, is that really, really good players come there and they get crushed by the machine that is DeBuzz and John Numbers and all those other players in there that make you play the fucking patient game, and then either you do that or you die. Like that's right. It's like natural selection. Like you're either doing this or you're dead. Like that's it. So that's why there's such good. That type of play style is so strong and so good because not a lot of people want to play against it.
And that's why when y'all are when Marcus is talking to me, like, because I guess there's not a lot of people that can go to the extreme on both ends. So like Marcus is just wants to talk to me about it, and it also makes my life kind of difficult because like look at our conversation. Like I have to pick. Like it might be easier on you mentally if you don't have the other option. You know what I mean? Like if you can focus on one or the other, but it is a blessing and a curse for me. So
it's like your character dilemma.
Yeah, I just gotta figure it out as I go. I think
do it. No,
the biggest thing is deciphering the match as it's happening. That's the most important thing. And that's what I've been trying to do my entire life. So
I will say Tri-State is also very powerful because they have some of the best public transportation in America. I think having access to easy transportation can go a really long way to make a region strong. Because even look at Japan. There's so many different regions in Japan, but the traveling is so accessible that it's a very common thing to see almost a good chunk of their top players attend a lot of their locals, right?
Yeah.
Where in other regions it's maybe not as accessible as that. So even looking down to the public transportation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, we got Apex coming up this weekend.
We do.
And Dreamhack Atlanta. And a Canada.
It never stops.
I think
the Saskatchewan thing.
Yeah.
So three big tournaments.
But there's something very important that you're forgetting to mention.
Okay, buddy.
Oh, Pokemon. Let's go, Pokemon.
Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon
the most important
Violet.
thing. The most important thing happening next weekend.
Honestly, yes.
I saw a comment on my YouTube video that said, you were going to say something at the end of your interview with EE, but you didn't say it. Can you say it on the podcast this week? And I will say it for you. So we were talking about Apex, and we were talking. I think we're.
If you subscribe to the Patreon.
Damn. All right.
No,
I didn't plan that one. Y'all are lucky. I'll say it. It's nothing. It's not a big deal. I was basically just saying, hey, I know I won this tournament, but do not expect anything at Apex. I will do really terrible because I will not be sleeping. I will not be eating. I will be playing Pokemon exclusively. And see you there.
Well,
spamming Pokemon, huh?
I honestly felt that way about Port because I know, obviously there's been a lot of info floating around about Pokemon, and I know
everything.
Bro, I would check I'd get up for work in the morning and Discord at like 5, and I'd see you in there like with other people like looking at.
I
like,
can't
Pokemon
stop.
I was like, dude, there's no way you're gonna have a good Port. So fuck it, maybe this is your new thing. Like maybe
I should treat my body like trash.
Huh?
Whoa.
No.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to do that, by the way.
I know. Bro.
Pump the brakes.
You're going to for one weekend.
yes.
Probably for like a month straight, but I mean, it'll get better after Apex maybe. But I can't wait, dude.
Maybe Pokemon powers you up.
Well, yeah. You didn't see my in-game tag?
All right, last question for everyone. What new Pokemon are you most excited for?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, you don't know? You don't know any of the starters or anything?
Don't say anything that isn't official.
That's all I'm going to say, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, I wouldn't. I don't
Yeah.
support leaks or anything like that. I wouldn't do
Marcus, put it back on. It's official stuff. It's official stuff.
Only stuff that's been officially announced, obviously.
I don't know anything about it. I know the starters.
You don't know Grafai?
So who you starting with?
And that, I guess. What's my favorite starters of the 3?
Yeah.
The little duck. That joint looked funny.
Yeah, dude, he's so funny.
He looks so fun. I don't know any evolutions, so it's literally just a little.
I like Green Cat.
Yeah. That's your favorite, Charles, of the officially announced stuff? Mine's Greavard.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about it, Marcus.
True? Okay.
You'll see it when you see it. All right,
you will see it. It rules.
You don't even have to ask Gavin. See you.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about it. Do you really have one, Gavin? I don't think you do.
No.
Yeah. Huh? No, nothing too interesting.
This is a part of my everyday life for the rest of my life. Thanks for watching, y'all. And yeah.
What episode was this?
Oh, snap.
That is
I'm getting called out.
76?
On the screen.
Philadelphia, baby.
And look out for the November Patreon episode if you're interested in that. And yeah, thank you so much.
See you.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
Wait.
A
Surprise.
lot of people have been leaving comments on the YouTube videos about the direction we should take our content in, and I'm also getting a lot of DMs from people. I see you, and I hear you, and we all read the comments, and we appreciate it. We're trying to figure out a more organized way to get feedback and address it. So sorry, I had like 2 people message me this week, like, oh, I guess you were just clickbaiting and like trying to get people to comment. I was like, no, we read them, and like I can't respond to all of them. So we're trying to figure out a way to make it a little more responsive and good. But we clearly are taking the feedback to heart, because we're not just doing tournament recaps anymore. So, well, we kind of did today, but it's because you wanted to.
Well, that's because Gavin won.
We kind of had to.
Imagine
But I will say,
imagine we said nothing.
Right, yeah. So anyway, that EU tournament was crazy.
Yo, Donkey Kong.
An hour talking about Donkey Kong and Kazuya. Yeah.
I'm down. Not down anymore.
Yeah, I knew you'd be down if I only said DK.
I will say, if you are interested in watching Tweek Talk content that isn't tournament recap, our Patreon episodes, every single one of them is never a tournament recap, and we always just talk about the game.
Well, we answer questions directly.
Right. So it usually branches off into those kinds of topics, because it's usually people that go to tournaments asking questions to Tweek about, some kind of issue they're having in terms of, competitive growth, or maybe trying to understand the game more. So if you really like the kind of content that you see here that isn't tournament recap, I highly, highly recommend you check out the Patreon. And I believe you get access to all the previous episodes too when you sign up for the Patreon, right? That I'm not too sure.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you get to check out all the other stuff too. That's crazy value.
And we've done one per month since we started, basically. So I don't know.
It's in the double digits.
Yeah, it's like 10, 12 episodes, something like that. It's fun. I actually kind of prefer the Patreon episodes, because the questions are always good. And that's what I'm trying. I don't want to discourage people from commenting or sending me DMs because I don't respond. It's not that I don't respond. It's that I have so fucking many of them, honestly. For specifically for Tweek Talks is like most of what I get. So it's not that we don't care. We see your comments, and I want to encourage people to keep responding and telling us what direction they want to see the content go in. I just wanted to apologize for not responding to everyone. And I don't want to discourage people.
Good.
And that's it. Episode 76. The champ. See you.
Thank you. Have a good one.